Hi, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I'm Charla.
And I'm Christy, and today we are having our Mother's Day special.
Yes, we want you to be able to relax and enjoy Mother's Day. And while we know that it's really cute when your kids bring you burnt toast in bed.
Or cereal with orange juice. Like
Totally.
in the cereal.
Yes.
I've had that.
Yeah.
One time they brought me a beer, and it made me rethink some of my drinking choices. And I'm like, that's very thoughtful of you kids. It's 8:30, but we're gonna skip the beer, and I'll have that one later. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we would like something a little bit more elegant for you.
Yes.
Now, having said that, this means that you're maybe going to have to make some of your Mother's Day breakfast now, ahead, but then your kids are going to heat it up for you, make it for you on Mother's Day, so that you get amazing food that you can look forward to.
That's right. Not everybody gets a Mother's Day brunch outing at some fancy place. Okay, this story is a little bit sad, but my mom, like magically before her birthday or before Mother's Day, a box of chocolates would show up in our linen closet. And this even happened for like little kid stuff like toys. If something was on sale, she would buy it and store it away in the closet. And then when I got invited to a birthday party, she would say, oh, well, here's this lovely earrings and necklace. Why don't you give that? It's strawberry shortcake. Do you remember, Lindsay, I gave that to you? My mom had bought that like months before.
Yeah.
So this box of, the long box would show up in our linen closet because, you know, if we had company and then for dessert, she could lay it out. There was lots of reasons to have it, but often I could go and just wrap this box up and give them to my mom for her birthday or for Mother's Day, and she was always so appreciative. I loved getting to do that, and it wasn't until I was much older when I realized that there was
she bought her own gift.
She bought her own gift, and that's sometimes okay. It's because she gave me something. She gave me the gift.
Yes.
In doing that, which was really sweet.
So the first recipe that we're doing today is lemon ricotta waffles because you deserve it.
You deserve it. Lemon ricotta waffles? Are you kidding me? Yes, please.
Totally. So we're going to make these ahead and freeze them, and then your kids can literally heat them in the toaster. Because if you're going to get something burnt from the toaster, it might as well be lemon ricotta waffles.
Yes, it should be. And just so you know, you should go now and buy some maple syrup. Because that's going to go really nicely on your lemon ricotta waffles.
There you go.
These lemon ricotta waffles are the bomb. They are very simple to put together, and what I like about them is that you don't have to beat your egg whites separately. Sometimes you have waffle recipes that have you do that, which is fine. You make a nice fluffy Belgian waffle, but it is an extra step that is a bit of a pain. Plus you have to then clean extra bowls and utensils and stuff. So we're gonna start out by mixing together our flour, our baking powder, baking soda, and salt all together in a bowl and have our dry ingredients done and set to the side. In another bowl, this recipe still does like bowls, even though we're not beating our egg whites. But listen, this sounds like an important step, so we're gonna do it. We are gonna take our sugar and we are going to rub it with the lemon zest until the sugar is scented with the lemon.
Doesn't that sound so like Mother's Day-ish?
This is already
lemon scented sugar.
Lemon scented sugar, right? I know, it's like better than doing laundry. Add the lemon sugar to the bowl with the dry ingredients. So in another bowl or a large measuring cup, we're gonna whisk together butter, eggs, vanilla, lemon juice, ricotta, and milk. We're gonna whisk these thoroughly until they're well combined, and then we're gonna add the wet ingredients all at once to the dry ingredients, and then stir to combine. If we're gonna add in the poppy seeds, this is the point where we're going to do it. It's just a couple of tablespoons, and then they become lemon poppy seed ricotta waffles.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to just not over mix it, right? You don't want to you want to let the baking soda do its thing and let it get puffy. If you over mix it, you're gonna beat out those bubbles. So then we're going to do these in the waffle iron. And so the original recipe doesn't make a lot, so we're doubling it here. Because, you want lots of waffles on Mother's Day. And you want to say, ooh, these are so good. And then your kids are going to be like, can I have some? And then you have to share. So you might as well go ahead and make a bunch and make brunch exciting. And then we're going to freeze them on a cookie sheet so that they're individually frozen. And that way, when you put them in your freezer bag, they stay loose. They don't stick together. If you pile these all up and put them in, you would have to defrost all of them at once. So now, if they even don't use them all on Mother's Day, you can sneak a few before or after Mother's Day and have them on your own. They can just be reheated in the toaster or maybe in a toaster oven. I think you want to put maple syrup on these. This is what's suggested in the recipe, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
I don't see any reason why not. I think these are going to be so good.
We're going
to put the link to the recipe down below. It is from somewhere called Joy the Baker, which also sounds nice.
That does sound nice, and there are about 1 million fantastic comments on this. This was posted originally in 2013, so this recipe has been around for a long time, and there are 1 million comments on it, and they are all favorable. People love these waffles, so we are excited to try them.
And we only choose things that we think are going to have a really good degree of success, or good chance of success.
It's true.
This Mother's Day, my Mother's Day is going to look really different than what it usually looks like. If you've followed our channel for a while, then you'll know that one of our sons recently went to work at a ski resort, which in the summer transforms into a downhill mountain bike resort. So for this spring and summer, he is there. And so we're gonna go and visit him. And we're taking my mom with us, which I'm really excited about because as it happens, Mother's Day this year is her birthday.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Isn't that nice? So she was actually born on Mother's Day. Her mom always said she was the best Mother's Day gift, which is really sweet. And so we are able to take her this year, and my brother and his wife and kids are coming as well. And they actually are bringing friends, and so it's going to be a large group that I'm feeding on Mother's Day.
Oh.
So brunch is going to be, a thing.
You're going to maybe need more waffles.
Christy's going to get to try the waffles. I might sneak one because I want to be able to report to you.
Yes.
But Christy's family's getting these waffles.
We have to have the Charlotte stamp of approval for them to actually be good. It's not always just on me, She's got the actual better palate. Oh, no, it's going to be nice, though, to have everybody there together. And it'll be because you'll be away and you'll be at the resort. It's kind of special, right?
I think it's going to be one of those memory building things, and it's going to be strange because not all of my kids will be there with me, but I'm going to have enough of them that it still feels like my Mother's Day too.
And when brunch is already prepared, like when you're taking it with you and its stuff's already made, it really does feel like
it's a break.
It is a break because you're not doing it. Now,
I get to enjoy it too.
You might still get the Mother's Day hangover. The sink full of dishes. Do you remember a few years ago you had... She made a meme and it went viral. You should dig it up and post it here. It was funny. And it's totally true. When you have little kids or when you're the mom and the next day you're doing the cleanup from all your Mother's Day festivities and you're like, how motherly was that? Do you know what dads do? They go go-karting or fishing and stuff. Dads know how to do it right. And now that our kids are older, they're better at doing the cleanup too, which is sometimes true.
Mine not so much, which we've established. But anyway, there maybe a few of them are getting a little better. So, and this one that is now living in a dorm.
He was the worst one, so the kitchen's way better.
He is now cleaning up after himself and his roommates, and he's sending me messages, and he's like, I can't believe how messy these people are.
Do you know what? That is sweet, sweet sounds to this mother's ears. I know it.
Such sweet justice.
That is funny. That's awesome.
He sent me a
couldn't have happened to a better kid.
I know. He sent me a photo where he made his own pasta. And I mean, it's just probably Prego and noodles, but he made it himself, and he's not a kid who cooks. So we're going to put a video right there of the meals, the 48 meals that Christy and I made for him to send with him.
This mother should be celebrated because she did make... We made 48 meals, individually packaged meals that could be frozen and enjoyed on his own time because otherwise I think you fear that he might starve to death. And he won't.
I do I did a little bit fear that, but now I have a photo.
I know he can make
He
pasta.
made pasta. So he's quite proud of himself, and I'm proud of him too.
Good job.
Right? And so maybe we won't always have to make his meals and send them with him. But anyway, I digress. The point is, we're going away for Mother's Day. It's going to be a large brunch for a lot of people, and so I'm taking it with us. I'm taking all of it actually with us. I'm planning to do hash brown casserole, of course, and I'm gonna do it in the slow cooker. So I'm gonna use a slow cooker liner so that afterwards I can just pick it up and throw it out. We have a link to those in our Amazon store below if you're interested.
Oh, they're a lifesaver. They truly are a lifesaver.
For things like the hash brown casserole that stick to the sides of the slow cooker, they're awesome. And we're doing the frittata, but I'm doubling it, and we're gonna make it in a foil tray. Now, lots of times I make this frittata in a freezer bag because it takes up less space, but I want to be able to have it all ready to go.
Again, less dishes.
Yeah, there's not necessarily, there isn't a casserole dish available to me there, so I'm just gonna be able to take the foil tray, put it in the oven, and then throw the foil tray away so I have less dishes. I will virtually have no dishes. Well,
a few forks.
Plates and forks. But really,
there's
that's
nothing
so
wrong
minor.
with paper plates for Mother's Day.
And then we're gonna do the cinnamon French toast waffles, which again can just be done in the toaster. Now I might actually lay them out on a cookie sheet,
you can do
cover
them
them
with foil.
totally, and so that I can warm a whole lot of them up at one time.
And then you can broil them at the end so they can crisp up a bit.
Yeah. So that's my Mother's Day menu. So I'm just going to walk you through making your frittata if this menu appeals to you. We have sauteed some vegetables in butter on the stove top. Now, whatever vegetables you want to use is entirely up to you. We have this time used red pepper, onion, zucchini, and mushrooms. I often also add artichoke hearts, but I don't saute those. I just add them in at the end. So you can really use whatever vegetable combinations sound good to you. Like a mushroom, and Christy was just suggesting like the asparagus heads. That would be a really, really good combination. You can kind of do more of a Southwest thing with some jalapenos and the red peppers, maybe some green chilies.
Can you sprinkle like bacon or ham chunks in it?
You absolutely can. This is vegetarian, but you could add pork products to it. My brother is allergic to pork, like deathly allergic to pork.
Oh, I forgot that. You're right.
And so we will not be doing bacon or anything like that.
You have funny allergies at your house.
I know.
And growing up
What
at your
a
house.
strange,
Who's
what a
allergic
strange
to pork?
genetic pool we have. So
That's funny.
anyway, you're going to take your sauteed vegetables and put them on the bottom of your tray. Now, if you're putting this right into a bag, you can just go ahead and put them into the bag. Then in a large bowl, you're gonna mix together eggs, sour cream, heavy cream, so we used whipping cream, Swiss cheese that's grated, salt, pepper, and fresh rosemary that you chop up. So because we doubled this recipe, I actually used 20 eggs. So it's a lot of eggs going on
That's a lot
here.
of eggs.
Lots of whisking. And you may notice that we did have a few shells that initially made their way in there, but I picked them out. And the way that my grandma taught me to get your eggshells out is using eggshell.
Oh yeah, you make the little scoop.
You scoop it up and it clings really like immediately to the
it really does work.
Yeah,
Isn't that the
works
funniest
really
thing?
well. So if I'm gonna make a mistake like that, I'm gonna point it out and tell you how to fix it if it happens to you, because it happens to the best of us, doesn't it?
It does.
So then you're gonna pour your egg mixture on top of your vegetables, or pour the egg mixture into the bag if you're making it in a freezer bag. And then you're gonna place a layer of plastic wrap directly on top of that egg mixture. You want it to actually settle on top, because what you're doing with this plastic wrap is getting rid of the air. Air causes your freezer burn when you're freezer cooking, so we want to get rid of all of that air, and then we're going to put a layer of tin foil on there before we freeze it. Now, we're going to make sure that we make a note on the foil or on the label that we need to remove the plastic wrap before we cook it, because we've made that mistake before.
And if we made the mistake, we want to tell you how to fix it.
Exactly. So you'll notice that on our labels, which are the printable labels that come in the Freezer Meals 101 Club, it tells you to remove the plastic. On the day you go to cook this, you're gonna, of course, remove that plastic wrap, and you're gonna also remove the foil because you bake this uncovered. And you just put it in the oven at 350 for 50 minutes. Again, we will put the recipe down below so you can make this for your Mother's Day brunch.
I love this one. This one is kind of a staple at your house for big brunch meals, and it's always so good. And so if I don't actually get to come to her house for brunch, sometimes I'm here the next day and I get to eat some of the leftover, or it has happened where some of it magically wanders its way over to my house.
Christy's my neighbor, tutors that.
Yeah,
way, so.
Yes. And so there sometimes is some food sharing back and forth.
She has sent, when, texted and oh, we're making Belgian waffles this morning, and I'm like, I'm so jealous. And then, sometimes a plate makes its way over here.
Sometimes, even though we only eat them at Christmas, you will eat the croissants with the Gordon Ramsay croissants with the scrambled eggs and the smoked salmon.
Yes.
Oh my. And so they sometimes make their way over to my house too, which is nice. If you Google it, it's on YouTube. It's so good.
And whipping cream in the eggs. Oh,
that's a really great way to start your day.
I'm kind of craving that
I think
now.
we should probably do that soon. That's funny.
I think that needs to be made by one of us soon.
So no brunch would be complete without a pastry. So is a muffin considered a pastry? I think it's not. I think it's a baked good.
When you go to a hotel and they have continental breakfast,
muffins are included.
It says pastry and coffee or something like that. You know what I mean? And so, or fruit and pastry. Mm-hmm. So I think, and there's always muffins.
I think so.
So I think it's a pastry. We're just inventing things on the fly.
Okay, it isn't. I'm putting my thinking cap on. I think it's considered like a quick bread. Like banana bread or a zucchini loaf is considered a quick bread. Mm-hmm. And muffins are usually in that same section of the cookbook. Yeah. So I'm going to say it's a quick bread. I like to get technical about things. I'm a little bit of a nerd.
After this video, she's going to Google this and
I may Google it mid-video. These are called Alice's Applesauce Muffins. I have had this recipe for years and years and years, and it came from, now technically it's a relative. I come from a huge family. My dad had, 11 brothers and sisters, and my mom, listen, her grandpa, I think, was one of 23.
Whoa.
I think his dad had 2 wives. I'm going to have to check with her.
Not at the same time.
No, one after the other, but one had 14 kids and the next one had 11. Whoa. I think so.
Okay.
I'm going to check on that. It doesn't matter for the purposes of this, but I think that Alice lady is from that relation. Okay. From my mom's grandpa. Okay. Who, we weren't super close to. I've met her a few times at reunions and whatnot, but these muffins are something. When she was diagnosed with cancer, she made these a lot and froze them because they're very healthy. They're a bran muffin and they're packed with all kinds of really great dried fruit. And she just, you wanted to eat better when she was going through a hard time. Mm-hmm. And so my auntie had gone down to see her, and when she stopped in to see me on her way home and said, you got to try these muffins, and I've had this recipe for a long time. So these are called Alice's Applesauce Muffins. So these applesauce muffins are really moist and there's no oil in them because there is 4 cups of applesauce, which sounds like a lot, but there is actually a lot going on in this recipe. So we have our applesauce, lots of it, a couple of eggs, our flour, our oats, our bran and ground flax. If you didn't know, flax is good for reducing your cholesterol. And so ground flax and flax seeds are both really good things to have if you have high cholesterol. We're going to add in baking soda, baking powder, a little bit of salt, brown sugar and a cup of raisins, a cup of chopped walnuts, and a cup of dried fruit. Now, this is one of those recipes where it's not too different from the frittata of you can put in whatever you like or whatever you have on hand. In the past, I have often made it with currants because that's one of my favorite dried fruits, but you could make it with cranberries, with blueberries, with chopped up dried apricots. And again, because it has a little bit of give and take, you can add in a few other things like some seeds. What if you added some sunflower seeds or some pumpkin seeds, or even hemp seeds or chia seeds? Those are all things that you could add to this to make it even healthier and more fully rounded out. Now, it's no wonder that Alice would want to eat these when she has cancer. Like, look at everything that's in there.
Very healthy and a great breakfast muffin. Like, you're obviously going to probably have more than you need, unless you have a large family like us, for just your Mother's Day morning. But when you've got these in the freezer, you can grab one on a busy morning when you're on your way out the door or whatever.
You totally can. So you're going to pour these into greased muffin tins, or Shyla has these very fancy stoneware muffin tins, and they don't need to be, well, I guess you can't call them tins then, can you? They don't need to be greased. They have such a great patina on them that things just pop out. You bake them at 350 for 20 to 23 minutes, and it makes a lot. This is a 2 dozen muffin recipe, which is really great. They're decadent enough, they're exciting enough to be part of a Mother's Day breakfast, and you would not feel bad about feeding these to your kids at all.
I pulled out our electric griddle because we're gonna make our cinnamon French toast on here. It's a lot faster than doing them in a skillet. We can make more at one time. And then for these, we're going to freeze them flat on a cookie sheet before we transfer them to the bag, just like with the lemon ricotta waffles, because we want them to come apart easily. We want to be able to just take out one at a time if we want. We don't want them sticking together. And the only thing about that is you want to make sure that they cool a bit before you put them in your freezer. A few reasons for that: you don't want your freezer to have to do more work. You don't want things in the freezer that are already frozen to thaw a little bit with the extra heat of something you put in there that's hot, like all of those things. You don't want to pay more in your utility bill because your freezer had to work hard. All of the things,
All
right?
of those things.
So for our cinnamon French toast, there is a secret ingredient.
Yeah, it is. I haven't had these since you made breakfast for supper club one time.
Ooh,
and that's been a while.
They're so good. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
The secret ingredient is necessary, in my opinion. So another thing that I've gone ahead and done with these, which you don't have to do, but I do think it kind of kicks it up, is we have a local bakery here that makes this amazing cinnamon bread. Now, it's not a cinnamon raisin bread, but that might be fine too if you like raisins. Like, that would be really good,
It would be
think.
Good.
This
might
is
not be so kid friendly.
Yeah, but it's Mother's Day.
It is, it's Mother's Day.
If you like raisins, you have raisins.
Go ahead with the raisin bread.
So this is just a cinnamon bread. It's got little cinnamon bits throughout, and it's nice and tasty. So I'm using...
And do you get them to thick cut it?
Yes, I do.
Yes, because at this bakery, it's Cobb's. So you can go in and they'll ask you how you want it sliced, and you get the thick slice.
Yes.
For the French toast, of course.
Yes. So we've got our thick sliced cinnamon bread, but you can use white bread if you prefer, or of course the cinnamon raisin bread. So this recipe calls for 3 eggs. We're gonna double it today, so that'll be 6 eggs. But then you're going to whisk into that some milk, cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla, and here is the secret ingredient: the zest of an orange. It's so good. I know it doesn't sound that life-changing, but just that little zing and zip just brings this up a notch. So we're going to whisk all that together in our bowl. We're going to dredge our slices of bread in there and put them straight onto the griddle, making sure that we get both sides dredged. Flip them over when each side is done, and then put them on your cookie sheet to go into the freezer, and then transfer them when they're totally frozen to a freezer bag. Remove the air from the freezer bag and refreeze them. To heat these, all you do is put them again in your toaster oven, or on a baking sheet in your oven just to warm up because they're already cooked.
And they're so delicious. And this is something else you could use your maple syrup for.
You can use maple syrup, or you can use, whatever. You can use a fruit syrup. You could put some whipping cream on these. You can do whatever you want.
These are awesome.
My husband would probably eat these with peanut butter and banana.
I can see why. That is okay. That is okay. I'm not a huge banana lover, but that would be a really great use of a banana.
He also sometimes does peanut butter and syrup.
That would be okay. I'm a syrup and a little spattering of the icing sugar.
Icing sugar? Oh, that sounds really good. I feel like French toast deserve icing sugar.
It does. It's fried cake. Like,
yes.
You might as well enjoy it to the fullest.
Yeah.
And you can offset it with your applesauce muffins. Yeah, that's nice, eh?
I like that idea.
A little bit of icing sugar.
The hash brown casserole is super simple. I've been making it forever. This is one that if you're having your kids make your Mother's Day brunch for you, you might want to have them enlist another family member because this is going to have to bake in the oven or in your slow cooker. So if they're little, they're going to need some help with that. But putting this together is so simple. All you're going to do is mix together some melted butter with a can of mushroom soup. You're gonna add some pepper. Sometimes I add some paprika to this as well. And you're gonna stir that, add some diced onion, stir that. Then you're gonna add some cheddar cheese and stir that in. And then you're just gonna add a large bag of frozen hash browns, mix it all together well. Then you're gonna put this in a freezer bag. Of course, get rid of the air, seal it and freeze it. And I'm just gonna take this with us on our trip. I'm gonna bring it in a cooler with that frittata so that this can go in the slow cooker, the frittata can go in the oven, and with a little bit of fresh fruit, which I'll have somebody else bring because I figure I'm doing enough work.
You're doing enough work. Thank you very much.
We will have a full brunch.
Yeah, you really will. That'll be nice.
And with that cinnamon French toast, right? We've got all the things covered.
The hash brown casserole, it's worth noting that if you wanted to add sausage or chopped up ham or something, you can add that in with a can of evaporated milk.
Yes.
I did that for Christmas morning this last year because we went up to my mom's, and she's getting older and she's like, I don't want to do Christmas. Like, she didn't want to cook anything. She didn't want to. I'm like, Mom, I have it under control. And so we had this beautiful Christmas morning hash brown casserole, and we had ours with not breakfast sausage, but Italian sausage in it that had been browned, and it was perfect.
That's a great way to do it. We've done that lots, and again, we're not going to do that this time because of the pork allergy, but
If you wanted to add that in, you totally could.
We know that Mother's Day can be a great day, or it can actually be a challenging day. Mm-hmm. Some of you may have lost your mom. You might have lost a child. You might have children you're estranged from. You might have kids who sabotage Mother's Day for you because of attachment issues. I'm just speaking from experience with adoption type things.
You might want to be a mom desperately, and it's not happening for you.
Yep. And those are painful things that can make Mother's Day feel lonely and sad. And when you're scrolling through Facebook and you're seeing all the other happy Mother's Day posts, it can be a little knife there.
It is. You want to be sensitive to all the different mother situations that can happen in the world, because it isn't always rainbows and sunshines in the mom world.
So regardless of what this Mother's Day brings up for you, you deserve a really special day. And there might not be someone who can give that to you, but you can give that to you. So I know maybe it feels like well, I made this for myself. Like, it's not a gift.
Right.
But if you make this for yourself now, and then on Mother's Day you're able to enjoy it, you can be thankful to yourself.
Yes, you can.
That you gave yourself this gift. And it is a gift because you're able to have something that feels like a treat, that feels special. Make yourself some coffee or tea, like sit down and really like sink into that you deserve to have something this nice. So I hope you do this for yourself. I really do.
It's true. And I think everybody is going to feel a little bit better if they have a chance to have some lemon ricotta waffles. Because I know right now future Christy is already pretty excited about those. And I may or may not be lucky. Like, I don't have those situations. My Mother's Days are generally pretty good. They bring me a beer and they were little. It was cute. It was really funny. And so hopefully they will get up and you know, get it together. Lots of times they'll make the worst eggs and some toast, and I just love it. It's the best.
And it's sweet. And
it is
and there's
sweet.
nothing wrong with that burnt toast brought to you in bed. I mean,
and
that's
it's totally
a Mother's
okay
Day
to
memory.
throw a box of some black magic chocolates in your linen closet if
and ask your kids to wrap it for you.
and to just let it be known that that's what they're there for. That's okay too, because little kids love to give their mom stuff. So growing up, my grandma, all of her kids lived close by, and so all of us cousins grew up. We went to school together. They were our first best friends. Our cousin relationships were really, really great. I was the only girl. I was the youngest. There was 9 of us, and I was the youngest, and I was the only girl. So I was very spoiled because Grandma waited a very long time to have a girl show up.
No kidding.
Yes, she did. And we were all within 10 years. My brother is the oldest, and I'm the youngest. So all of these cousins were within 10 years of these really tight, close families. And my grandma, I think in her wisdom, said, I'm tired of hosting Mother's Day.
Right.
So we went to, I was raised in northern Alberta. We would go to Dunvegan Park. There's this beautiful bridge. It's on the Peace River. It's a huge, big, beautiful river. And we would have Mother's Day picnic. And sometimes, like the 14th of May or the 10th of May or whatever, the second weekend of May is still a little bit chilly, but we would be out there for Grandma. And we did it for years and years. And so even as my cousins were growing up and, you know, then they started bringing their girlfriends and spouses and whatnot, we did it for a really long time to go and celebrate my grandma. And that was one way that she allowed us, brought us together. It was really special. And so there's been a couple of times when I'm like, you know what, let's just go have a wiener roast. We go out here to, you know, a little campground. We do that. It doesn't have to be over the top.
Doesn't have to be fancy.
It just has to be enjoyable, and it has to be what you want.
That's a sweet story. It's a sweet tradition.
It was really lovely.
We are hoping for the best possible Mother's Day for you this year. So
make those waffles. Because you will just thank yourself for making them.
Can you tell that Christy is so excited about these waffles?
I can't even handle it.
Thank you for joining us today. As always, we really appreciate you being here and hanging out with us.
Let us know in the comments about your Mother's Day traditions and some of your Mother's Day brunches and some of your Mother's Day goofs. We kind of want to hear them because we're moms and we get it and we've heard it all.
Happy cooking.
Bye.